So the idea that just because it doesn't say in giant, I guess 2-inch letters that we're litigators, that somehow we're not, that strikes me as more like wishful thinking than the facts.
Hey there, so today I want to return to the wonderful world of entertainment, and what an interesting world this has become. You would think we would be talking about certain things, like product, we would be talking about escapism, but no, what you and I are talking about is litigation that involves not only people that are involved in voice acting, but people that are involved on the periphery. The person in front of you, for example, this person here, the one that is questioning the lawyer at the beginning of that clip, yeah, this person, they have been involved in something that is insidious, that destroys, and I think the whirlwind they've stirred up, they're about to reap it. They're looking down the barrel of litigation, and they're not going to like what comes after. And you know what? People like myself, I'm going to be sitting here pointing my finger and laughing because they deserve this. They deserve to reap this whirlwind because of what they have done. Now, if you haven't kept up with what exactly is transpiring, I'm going to break that down in just a second. But as far as the clip at the beginning goes, that is going to be Vic Mignogna's lawyer. That is Ty Beard. And you have an interview with him on Rekieta Law YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely need to. You've got to catch up on this stuff because it is quite insane. Now, all of this, it answers a brigading that I cannot break down very easily, but I'm going to give you just a few highlights from. The person in front of you, for example, MARZURL, one of the people on the periphery, not even attached to anime. This person decided they would go out, they would attack in conjunction with, say, other folks out there, like folks from Anime News Network, voice actors and on. They would go and they would attack, they would brigade, and at the end, they would try to burn down a guy's reputation and his occupation. They put together a hashtag called KICKVIC, and hashtag KICKVIC, it has housed some of the ugliest things that bring no evidence, and that is a big thing to focus on here. No evidence, no substantiation at all, because hey, listen and believe, right? You're supposed to not look, you're not supposed to look a little deeper, you're not supposed to ask for context. Nope, you're supposed to get together with them while they're calling for violence and on, talking about attacking that guy here, because they can't meme well, but when they do, they have to call for violence. Yeah, beautiful stuff. So as far as Ty Beard is concerned, he ends up getting involved in a conversation that actually spawns from one of these accusations. Here you have another voice actor talking about Vic, saying, back when he pulled my hair and he tried to kiss me. This kind of stuff, it's been interesting to look at because there's a lot of questions about it. Plus, if you go in and you look at what's housed here, there's not just an accusation, but also threats against people like myself, people that have been brought up later, people that have had the audacity to go when questioned. We're told that we're on a watch list too, that these people are looking at us and they're going to come for us as well. So you see the conversation that spawns out of it, and you see them talking about the litigation that's coming up. If you don't know anything about that, essentially Vic Mignogna, he decided that he would go from saying, hey, can we work this out? I apologize if I've offended you. I apologize if people have taken anything I've done out of context. He went from that to knowing that he needed help. So Nick Rekieta, he sets up a GoFundMe to help the guy out. And when he does, well, $100,000 later, we're looking at someone entering the conversation, a Ty Beard. He gets involved here when they're talking about it. You think that him lawyering up was an offensive move? Nope. Defensive there. He knows the skeletons he has hidden that are coming back to haunt him. Look at the little smiley face, and look at the brigaders that are there. MARZURL, always around. So you have Ty Beard saying, we will be in touch. Now this stuff, it continues on. Ron, he doesn't know when to shut his mouth. And these people, they have tried to go out repeatedly, and they have tried to reframe what is transpiring. They talk about ethics, for example. They talk about this GoFundMe not going forward. some of the most preposterous things ever, because you said we will be in touch. That basically is instigating additional harassment. It's a PR move. I mean, Ron has been spinning that hard. People like, say, Jamie Marshy have been telling you that guy, he's going to run off with the money because $100,000, why does he need it? And that is quite insane. I mean, think about the damages that have been done by these folks. If you think about, again, reputation and occupation damages, and you think about $100,000, that's a drop in the bucket for someone like Vic Mignogna, because he is not going to see that. He's going to see the cancellation of jobs that would have brought him a lot more, con appearances that would have brought him money, and on. Now it's been framed in a different context lately. We've gone from saying that, this is all fraud, that Nick Rekieta, the quote-unquote black-faced lawyer, he's a monster, to saying that Ty Beard out there, he's not the correct type of litigator. He is, in fact, somebody that's not a heavy hitter. Here's MARZURL talking. After asking a lawyer friend of mine about it, all I can say is if he's pursuing litigation, he hasn't chosen a litigation heavy hitter for his lawyer/law firm. He might still be doing it, but who knows? Again, going after the idea that this is all fraudulent. Who really knows if he's doing it? But this kind of looks like more business property kind of stuff. Doesn't rule out a lawsuit, just seems unlikely. Too bad the YouTube lawyer is talking about it and feeding only one singular conspiracy theory narrative. So, they want another narrative to be spun. But, anyone that actually, has a couple of brain cells to rub together can understand that this is not conspiracy. It is happening. And the question that is housed here, I want to include that at the end. I want to actually talk about that and let them talk about it. I want Nick Rekieta and I want Ty Beard to answer this, because it's the newest thing they've tried to levy against someone. But, it doesn't make sense. So I'm going to add that right here.
One of the criticisms that's been leveled against Beard Harris is that you are not actually a litigation firm. You are a firm that deals in estate planning. You are not the type of firm that should take on a defamation case or a case involving players like Funimation or anything like that. Do you care to comment at all about like the scope of your firm's work? Because from all I've read on the internet, which is the most reliable source you can find, you basically just write wills and prenums, right? Like that's all you do.
Yeah, well, we do a little bit more than that. We have a very broad practice. We cover most areas of law. We work particularly for high net worth individuals, business owners, particularly first generation business owners. And those kind of folks generally have needs that cover the entire spectrum. Some of my wealthy business owners have kids, they have grandkids, they get into trouble, they have divorces, they have, all kinds of things. And actually, I was a solo practitioner for some years and did both estate planning, mergers and acquisitions, and business litigation. I built the firm primarily because my clients were asking me to do things that I really were kind of outside my area of expertise. And so I pulled the team together. Everybody that's here has both litigation and non-litigation specialties that they do. But
sure.
We're all litigators. Every single one of us will go to the courthouse.
Oh, okay. So you don't just do like writing wills for LegalZoom. You actually do take people to court. Yes, we do. And are you telling me that your clients are high net worth individuals? So you're not just like the lawyer that like I get these great emails from places like lawyers.com or whatever, and I get them for chuckles, because it's like someone will send me an email or send an email to the service, and the service will email out to local lawyers, and they'll say like, hey, someone needs legal help in your area right now. And it'll say, yeah, my girlfriend stole her baby from me after I kidnapped him and I want him back. Stuff like that. You don't take those type of clients? Well, I don't. We do have a family law area. Carrie Christie, one of our, we call her Amazon Prime. Okay, so all of my female attorneys, we call them the Amazon Legion of Doom. No, so, you don't. Yeah, we have t-shirts and everything. Yeah, we absolutely do.
And Amazon Prime is Carrie Christie. She's our senior attorney. Carrie does a lot of family law. Christina Ross does some. I don't generally do any family law unless it involves a business. I've handled a few divorces where, they were fighting over a family business. The problem, of course, with people who've got problems like you described is cost. I mean, people can get into, the problems you get into aren't necessarily based on how much money you have, but unfortunately, legal services are very, very expensive.
Yes.
And so for clients to be able to take the maximum use out of us, they really have to have a fairly significant net worth. It's not that we don't like to help, but we do have to pay the bills just like everybody else.
Well, there's like a tier system of legal services, right? You guys are a full service firm that focuses on a particular demographic. I am in a lot of ways a full service firm, although I try desperately not to be. But I focus on a much different demographic. I'm in a much smaller town. I take on private clients, and a lot of times I take on people who can't afford legal services. And of course, my joke is no one actually can afford legal services. But and my practice involves trying to keep those costs to a bare minimum for people. Yeah. But that's not always what people need. And I think the cool thing about your firm is, of course, you handle the broad spectrum, because if someday, hopefully everyone in the chat will learn this, if you become a high net worth individual, you need to be able to trust the person or the group or the team who is handling all of your affairs, and you don't want to go shopping around. These guys don't want to pick up a phone book and try and find a lawyer when their son gets arrested for shoplifting, right? Like they don't want to pick up a phone book for a lawyer if they're being threatened with divorce from their wife. Like they don't want to have to do that. They want to go where they get all of the help that they need. Typically. So I'm just still very confused, because I've read a lot on the internet about how you guys have no idea what a courtroom even looks like. You've probably never even seen one.
Yeah. Well, and of course, Craig Doherty, I call him our litigator emeritus. Craig is an extremely experienced trial lawyer. I believe he was president of the Texas Trial Lawyers Association at one point, board certified in civil trial. He's forgotten more about trial law than most lawyers will ever know. And he's kind of been our grand old man. Sorry, Craig, if you're watching this. We have a real depth of experience. And of course, I have friends who are litigators in other firms. I mean, we have friends and buddies, and we talk to them. And in fact, I've had a few conversations with friends of mine who are litigators in Dallas and other places. And I may even bring them into Vic's case, depending on how complex the situation gets. So the idea that just because it doesn't say in giant, I guess 2-inch letters that we're litigators, that somehow we're not, that strikes me as more like wishful thinking than the facts.
Yep, wishful thinking. It was wishful thinking that they could go out, they could do what they wanted to do, they could operate with impunity, they could continue to burn people down, and there would be nothing to be answerable for. But reality and fantasy, those things, they definitely don't intertwine well. These people, they're in for one heck of a wake-up call. But anyhow, you tell me what you think. So if you like this kind of content, if you say to yourself, I love what you do, I love this channel. In fact, maybe I could slap a little promise ring on it, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Oh man, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that nice? Make sure that you sub. Make sure that you hit the bell for daily content. And if you want to go further, you want to make sure, the nails are done and everything is pretty for said ring, well, check out the links in the description. Oh, isn't that lovely? If you want to go and leave a comment as well, I definitely like trying to check those out. I like to see what people are thinking about this, pro or con. You don't have to agree with me, just check that out. Any comments are welcome. Also, I want to end with something that all of these people forget. I say this every time, and I mean this, I appreciate you showing up. You are what make channels possible. You actually make all of this stuff work. Without you, there is nothing there. These people, they have forgotten that. They want to pretend that you don't matter. Me, I don't want to do that. So I want to end by saying thank you. I appreciate you. And we'll be doing this again soon. Thanks.